Welcome everybody to look at another Imprint release that is a 4K release, just alongside A Bridge Too Far and The Neverending Story. We also got 1978's Convoy. So this is directed by Sam Peckinpah, who I've seen 8 other films from. Favourites being The Wild Bunch, The Getaway and Cross of Iron. So this is a road action comedy, and depending on which version you watch, you've either got a 111-minute running time or a 115-minute running time. And it had a budget at the time of $12 million and a box office return of $45 million. So a reasonably successful effort. In fact, it was Peckinpah's highest grossing film, but you compare it to other road action comedies from the time, such as Smokey and the Bandit, which cost less and made even more, then I guarantee it wasn't seen quite as much of a success as they hoped. But still, stars Chris Christopherson, who was also in the Blade trilogy, Lone Star, Pat Garrett and Billy and the Kid, which is another Sam Peckinpah film, as well as Millennium, which for my money still has one of the best pre-credit sequences going, and one of the best title card sequences as well. Although the film itself isn't particularly great, the opening of that is fantastic. So if you've not seen that film, I highly recommend it. Also stars Ali McGraw, who was in The Getaway, and Ernest Borgnine, who was I've seen in 25 other films. Few favourites from him: The Poseidon Adventure, Marty, Johnny Guitar and The Wild Bunch. And finally, Seymour Cassel, who we've talked about earlier in this year in the Death Game film, which he was really rather good in, and he's really rather good in this as well. So Trucker, Rubber Duck and his buddies Pigpen, Widow Woman and Spider Mike use their CB radios to warn one another of the presence of cops. But conniving Sheriff Wallace is hip to the truckers' tactics and begins tricking the drivers through his own CB broadcasts. Facing constant harassment from the law, Rubber Duck and his pals use their radios to coordinate a vast convoy and rule the road. So, to be honest, I'm not quite sure what to make of this, as I enjoyed it quite a bit, despite a few boring parts and a rather muddled tone. But that said, the stunts and action are top notch. I really liked how it was shot. There's a lot of slow motion scenes that are used to emphasise the action and the comedy. The music and score is solid, the cast is decent, it is well paced, the production is good, and it is generally engrossing, but it never really comes to a satisfying conclusion, even though it is a reasonably funny one. And I can't help but feel that even though it touches on certain worthy subjects, such as racism and heavy-handed law officials, it could have gone a lot further, and that's why it's got a somewhat muddled tone, because yes, it deals with these serious subjects, but it's also got a lot of comedy, a lot of, I wouldn't say slapstick, but there's a lot of fight scenes that have a lot of destruction in them, and they are played for laughs. So yeah, it's kind of muddled in that regard, and yeah, but that's why ultimately I'm only going to give it 3 out of 5, because it is a worthwhile effort to watch, and it was enjoyable, but yeah, it's just a little bit too muddled for my liking. To be honest, I would have liked it to have been a bit more consistent. So yeah, in terms of the box, as per usual, from Imprint, it is really well done. So everything's inside here, and yeah, nice hard box as per usual from Imprint, just like the same with A Bridge Too Far. So yeah, like with that film, we've also got this on 4K, and inside we have the 4K disc and the Blu-ray. I think it's a Blu-ray. Yeah. So there's the 4K disc, and there's the Blu-ray. We also have an extended cut case as well, which it's in 1080p high definition presentation of the 115 extended cut, and inside also as an extra we have the Lost Convoy video essay by filmmaker Peckinpah scholar Mike Siegel. So I've not seen the extended cut. I didn't really think a 4-minute extra running time was going to really add all that much to it. And at the end of the day, I wanted to see this in 4K first, more than Blu-ray, to be honest. Might give the longer version a shot at some point in the future when I want to rewatch this film. But yeah, I just opted for the 4K because that, at the end of the day, is the main selling point of this release. So yeah, in terms of special features, we've got a Dolby Vision 2160p ultra high definition presentation of the film as a 4K restoration from the original 35mm negative by Studio Canal. So this was actually released in the UK before Imprint put it out in 4K. It was only a few weeks, I think it was, but since I was going to get Neverending Story, The Bridge Too Far, and The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which we've yet to look at, I may as well have gotten the bundle pack that Imprint sell when they do all of their releases at once. And because this was only an extra £5 to get this as part of that bundle, I may as well got the bundle rather than just getting the 3 other films. So yeah, which at the end of the day works out a lot cheaper than just buying it from Studio Canal over here in the UK. And yeah, it's got audio commentary by film historians Paul Cedar, Garner Simmons and Nick Redman. That's on the 4K disc. Got audio commentary by filmmaker Peckinpah scholar Mike Siegel, so it's the same one that's probably on the other disc. Then we got the Lost Convoy video essay. Yeah, so we got the video essay again on the 4K disc. Oh, Mike Siegel audio commentary. All right, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, it's the Lost Convoy on this one, and then you got audio commentary from the same guy on this one as well, which is in. But the Lost Convoy is in the 4K disc only, not on the Blu-ray one. And then you got an interview with Franklin AJ, also on the 4K disc. Passion and Poetry, Sam's Trucker Movie documentary by Mike Siegel. 3 lost scenes, deleted scenes illustrated with rare photos. In-jokes, friends and cameos, featurette. And we've also got Trucker Notes from Norway, interview with trucker expert Anders Lafadil. Then we've got the Duck Trucks featurette, which is on the 4K disc. Passion and Poetry with Peckinpah in Portugal Part 2, featurette from the Portuguese Peckinpah retrospective from 2022. Then we've got Promoting Convoy, Animated Gallery, Convoy in Colour, Photo Gallery, Filming Convoy, Behind the Scenes Image Galleries, which has White Sands and the Truck Stop, The Trucks Are Rolling and Showdown in Alvarez, Theatrical Trailer, US TV Spot and US Radio Spots with Photo Gallery. So yeah, some of the special features are obviously on the 4K disc as well, but most of them are on the Blu-ray disc. So yeah, that's the main reason to have it in there. So yeah, not quite a fan of the clear case that they've got with this case. Doesn't really fit with the black 4K disc case, but that's the only real issue with this release as far as I'm concerned, because there's a whole host of special features there. And yeah, the 4K itself looks pretty good, sounds good as well, especially when it comes to the action scenes and the music. So yeah, no real issues in that regard. And although I'm not a massive fan of the film, I can see why some people are, especially when it comes to the cast, music and action. So yeah, it's a fairly solid release, to be honest. And yeah, for only a £5 extra, it is well worth getting it as part of that Imprint November bundle. So yeah, overall a solid film, just not a spectacular one, especially in comparison to the director's other efforts that I've enjoyed a hell of a lot more. Nonetheless though, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.